see, we've done nothing with the bike since the last time you've seen it. Part of the reason for that is I have been working because I still have a full-time job. Today what we're going to do though is we're going to cap off the back ends here and get these painted up nice and pretty, and then I'm also going to try and figure out foot pegs possibly, I think, and see if I can get them mounted somewhere on here a little bit better. This is a fairly comfortable riding position where it's at, but this isn't really going to do for foot controls that are way in here. That's quite a difference. So we're going to try and figure those out too. I don't know what to do first. I think we're going to start with getting off the rear fender and getting these back ends here capped off. I think we'll try and use some cardboard design here in a minute. Maybe not that cardboard. That cardboard's pretty wet. Here we go. For my Gates belts. So I had tried recording a video on an old camera. The old camera that the last video I put out was actually filmed with, where I cut off the back of the frame here and got the fender mounted. I don't know if any of that footage is still there or usable. Because, well, that camera was really terrible. So far, this one seems to be good, seems to be recording. I've recorded about 20 minutes of stuff already, and it seems to be doing exactly what it's supposed to do. So, here's to kind of hoping and praying that it continues to work, so I can actually put out videos. What I'm doing is I'm just using the back side of a pencil, and I know you guys can't see it, especially from way over there, but there is now an outline on this, kind of indented outline, that I can kind of trace around here. And we're going to find out if this same kind of mold here will work for both sides. Now, I don't have a big pair of scissors. I have my little Gerber ones here, but these are actually unbelievably good for what they are. It's not even funny how good these tiny little scissors are. And again, Gerber, if you want to sponsor me at some point in time, please get a hold of me. I love these things. And I will, even if you don't sponsor me, still promote the shit out of your multi-tools here because they're great. Some of your cheaper ones aren't so fantastic, but this one was like 80 something bucks or so, and I bought this. So this is an honest review on it, is that these things are great. I don't like the fold open ones. The ones where you have to take and fold them open, because when you go to try and like crimp on butt connectors or something, they just fall apart. This is a slide out one, and it's got more support on the inside here, and it does not seem to fall apart. Because I have abused this thing, and it is just fine. That should work for that side. And that seems as though that should work for that side. Cool. Okay, so found some of my scrap metal here. This should be well more than plenty enough for a couple of these. Wish I knew where a little bit ago. There's no way I went through both of them. Oh, here it is, right where I left it. So I'm going to use this sponge wheel here, and I'm actually going to clean this metal up before I start doing anything on it. Yeah, if you're not in the rust belt, then you don't understand having rusty metal that when you take all the rust off it, it turns black. Well, that's pretty normal here, and that's fine. It's not going to make a bit of difference. So I'm going to take, trace out two of these a minute. I can pretty much basically sort of kind of see what's going on there with that one. And now I can basically see what's going on with that one. I'll go ahead and get the sponge wheel off of here now. These things are great, by the way, and you'll see like other YouTubers trying to use it with like a drill and whatnot. You can't. You got to use it with an angle grinder. It's what it's meant for. And it works good. It takes the rust off it, it'll take paint off it, it doesn't hurt the metal. Oh, I have a ghost in here because my my wood stove just opened up on its own. So I'm going to close that a minute. I actually decided to stick a couple of real logs in there. I had one of those starter logs in there. one blank. Let's cut the other one here a minute. Alright, here's the second one. I'm going to stick on one of my very oldest work gloves here now. And I'm going to start shaving these. At least this one, that one apparently I need to cut just a little bit off. But I'm going to start shaving this down to its final shape there. Alright, so there's one blank. I'm going to slice and dice this a minute. And my burn barrel's getting very warm, so I can feel it all the way over here. And for those of you at home, don't wear gloves while you're doing this like I am. I'm sure that my shop teacher, Mr. Wyckoff, I am sure he is literally throwing a fit right now, or at least he would be if he was seeing this. If you know Mr. Wyckoff, as far as I'm aware, he worked at the Ottawa County Tech Center. If you know him, please don't show him this, because I don't want him to yell at me. And the reason you don't want to is if your glove gets caught in there, it's going to suck your fingers in too. And then your fingers are done for. Good Lord, it is getting really warm in here. Okay. So, I got both pieces here. And what I'm going to do in a minute is I'm going to clean the face of this off. That way I can actually get a good welding surface. And what I'm going to do, if I need to, possibly undersize these just a little bit, but doesn't really look like I'm going to need to. So I'm going to give these a couple little tacks here. Oh, there we go. Oh, hot, 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 hot. melting metal together, you know, is hot. Apparently not me. Alright, there's one side tacked on. We'll get this other side tacked on. And then I'll go grab my welding helmet and we'll actually burn these on and then clean them up. Maybe I'll be smart this time and hold it with, you know, my plan. Yeah, this one I probably could have undersized a little bit more, but I'm not gonna. I'm just gonna. Whoop. There. Now, so everybody knows I am using a Chicago Electric 125 flux core with 030 wire in it. I have no problem using this, some people do, and I will kind of explain to you what I'm doing. So if you have one of these and you think it's junk and you can't weld with it, well, maybe it'll help you. Okay, so I'm going to show some basic things here in a minute about how to do this. So the first thing is everybody who absolutely has no idea what they're talking about is going to tell you that you need the cone on this. You do not. This has the flux inside of it. The wire has the flux inside of it. You do not need to have the nozzle shield on this, right? When the flux inside of this starts burning, it creates its own flux, and it's right there inside of the weld, putting out the argon gas. Okay? There's no need to have the nozzle. Inherently, this also makes things really nice because I can get into areas like this that you can't get to with a nozzle on it. And I can weld something like that. Okay, other thing. So flux core welding, especially 125, you always want to pull your weld. So on the top of the tire here, I'll show you in a minute. We'll go this way. So with gas welding, regular gas welding, you can push, you can pull, you can go side to side. Doesn't matter to those type of welders and that type of wire what you do. With flux core, it does. So you always want to pull your weld. You always want to come away from your weld. You also don't want to do these giant swirlies with it. What you actually really want to do is you want to do half moons. So you want to go back and forth and just do a half moon with it and work your way, and you'll get a good weld that way. Other thing is I see a lot of people, including Pole Barn Garage. So if you see this or you know who Pole Barn Garage is, tag him in this so that he watches this so I can stop going, no, that's not how you weld with that thing. I always see him pointing it straight down at what he wants to weld. That is not how you do it. You can tack stuff that way, that's fine. But what you want to do is you want to keep an angle on it. What this does is this pushes the wire into what you're into the weld that you're creating, into your puddle, and then as you're going back and forth, you literally just want to work it back and forth just like that. So you always want to have it at an angle to your weld, and you always want to pull away from it. I've seen them try and do a bunch of different things, and yes, it is possible to do those, but that's taken me like 4 years of practice to be able to do those. So you're always, and really, you're going to see me pull my welds most of the time because it's the best way to get the best result. So I'm going to do this a minute, and I'm going to kind of show you guys. I can't see a darn thing through this element. Oh, well, that'd be why it's filthy. See stuff through it now? Yeah, sort of. Guess anything's better than nothing. Okay, now I will have to move to the other side to get the other portion of this one. But I'm going to get this side now.
Nope.
I'm going to start over and try this side again. That one was my fault. Also, you only want to keep about a 1/4 inch of wire or less sticking out of your nozzle at all times. There should be no more than that. If there's more than that, arc it off, cut it off, whatever. Any more than that, and you're just trying to do gap filling, which is a thing, and you can do it with flux core, and I think a lot better with flux core than what you can with gas. Because it's got its own, it's got its own gas in it, and so I actually think it's easier to do it with this than with regular gas. Alright, let's get some this a little bit. Alright, now that one I had a little bit too long of wire sticking out, and I'll show you what that did here in just a second. Get the rest of this welded up quick. Let me not get the rest of that welded up quick because that is not a good enough ground. That way. Alright, let me grab a wire and brush quick so I can brush this off, and then I'll show you guys what happened with that one weld. Okay. Whoop. Okay, so as you can see over here and over here, that just does not want to focus. Anyways, these spots right here, nice flat welds. If you look right here, you can kind of see how it wormed. It's because it's a cold weld, so what it does, it just built everything up on top. Now, is that going to be the biggest problem in the world? No, these are just cap pieces. They're not structural in any way, shape, or form. It's not going to hurt anything. So, not a big deal at all. Alright, so next thing that we're going to do is we're going to grind all these welds until they look nice. And then we'll go ahead and get that part right there repainted black.